Everyone. So I don't normally make this type of video, um, but I don't know. I just felt that it was necessary to talk about, maybe give some hope for people who are doubting their faith or whatever. I've seen a lot of people, excuse me, deconstruct their faith, leave Christianity and everything, and I get it, but I think it's also important to keep that conversation open because, so I grew up Christian, but kind of left Christianity, and then I came back, and I think most people just leave, and then that's kind of the end of that. And then maybe they'll spend the rest of their life pursuing whatever or critiquing the church or whatever it is. But of all the videos that I've seen, I haven't seen one where I was like, yeah, that was a good reason to leave Christianity. There's good reasons to leave churches, but yeah, so I was going to talk about my testimony real quick, and then I was going to just talk about, you know, investigating Christianity and other religions and everything. And so yeah, I grew up in the church. It was a really great experience, baby to senior, and really involved with my youth group, with the worship team and everything. And then took a turn at when I was 18. My best friend passed away, and then the church I was attending, the pastor and a lot of the people ended up spreading rumors about my family and I, and then we left, and then basically all my friends bailed on me, and then my one remaining friend ended up becoming really emotionally abusive and manipulative and everything, and it was really, really tough. I ended up developing a severe anxiety disorder, not just like a fake, like whatever, like, oh my gosh, I get nervous on stage, like, yeah, everybody does, but to the point where it felt like my throat was closing often, and I have food allergies, so a lot of the times I couldn't tell if it was my throat was really closing or it wasn't, so a lot of times I just had to wait and see, and yeah, basically became a hermit and didn't leave. I tried school, tried working, but didn't work out until I moved to Big Bear recently and like forced myself to, in a way, face the, the abyss that Nietzsche talks about, and really look and see, whether God was real or not, and I was really going to commit and everything, and I did. And yeah, so it was, and I spent that time when I was basically a hermit. So it was probably like 10 years that I was like living in my room, basically. It was rough, but I spent that time studying apologetics, and then, studying atheism and other major world religions and everything. And very useful time in my life, very important time, and ended up becoming a stronger Christian because of it. So I just want to talk about like maybe what I did that was different, might help people find their way back to Christ instead of just like, asking one hard question and then bouncing. So one thing that has always been really important to me, and ended up finding out that, Jordan Peterson talks about this, which is, when you're critically thinking and really trying to find the truth, you have to fight against something as hard as you fight for it. And whoever wins, that's where the truth is. And, I know that there's a lot of videos of people deconstructing their faith where they say like, oh, I started asking my pastor hard questions, and I found better answers through guys like Nietzsche, for example, or Carl Jung, or whoever, or anybody else. And what they're doing is basically, like, you could think about it like chess, is like they set up one pawn and the king on one side, and then all, Nietzsche's side would be the full set of uh, chess pieces. Um, yeah, that side's gonna win because you're not fighting equally as hard to find the right answer on both sides. You have to be willing to say, like, if you're gonna praise yourself, you have to critique yourself just as hard, in a sense. Um, so, uh, taking brilliant people like C.S. Lewis or St. Augustine or whoever and pitting their answers against, Nietzsche or Richard Dawkins or Sam Harris or whatever, and that's what I did was it wasn't just like, oh wow, that Sunday school answer didn't really work, and or that's not as fulfilling as what Nietzsche said. If you're going into the intellectual rigor of it, yeah, Nietzsche's going to win, especially against like what your local pastor might say. Unfortunately, that's kind of the case right now. Is you might ask your Christian friend or whatever, what's the answer to this or that, and they might not be able to give you an answer. They probably won't, which isn't good. It's not a good thing that we're in this place, but it doesn't mean that they're wrong. I think they're still correct, but they're not. They just don't have all the tools there. So because, truth is life or death, literally, it's so important that we take these things very seriously, more seriously than most anything else, so yeah, it was just that's just something that I've noticed recently, and if I don't know if this will, if anybody will watch this or this will take off or whatever, but if it does, I'd be more than happy to talk about my testimony more specifically, the answers that I found, why I chose to stay a Christian as opposed to become a Buddhist or a Hindu or Muslim or atheist or whatever it is. I chose Christianity very methodically, and I really thought it through. I'm not a super smart dude, but I think it's an important journey to take, is to be incredibly critical of what you believe in, because it is life or death. And I don't see a lot of people being that serious. And yeah, I just want to maybe give some hope to people who are doubters or whatever, that there are the answers there, and yeah. So if you have any questions or anything at all, or want me to say, want me to talk about like why Christianity, why not this or whatever, more than happy to. Just let me know. And yeah, God bless.